From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
We're checking back in with the group shoveling snow for people in need.
It's our duty to help the people that can't help themselves.
Plus, a Billings Barber is helping homeless teens look their best.
They can just have a moment that's normal, right? And maybe feel a little bit better about things.
And a man is facing felony charges for threats against Senator Jon Tester. Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning on this Friday, February 24th. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we have meteorologist Ed McIntosh following the forecast. We'll check in with him in a few. But first, today marks 1 year since Russia's invasion of Ukraine and that attack triggering the deadliest conflict in Europe since World War II. CBS's Ian Lee shows us how we got here.
Russian forces expected a quick victory, convinced they could capture Ukraine in days.
The Russian military has begun a brutal assault on the people of Ukraine without provocation, without justification, without necessity.
Forces attacked from several directions, on the ground and in the sky. Armored columns pushed toward Kyiv as jets and helicopters blitzed across the border, bombing Ukrainian targets. Russian President Vladimir Putin pointed to history to justify his war, saying, "We will strive to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine." Millions of Ukrainian civilians fled the country, while the West and its allies quickly slapped tough sanctions on Moscow, targeting their economy and energy. Stiff Ukrainian resistance stopped the Russians in their tracks and eventually forced them to flee. They left behind a trail of death and devastation, massacring hundreds of civilians in Bucha. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said these are war crimes and will be recognized by the world as genocide. Fierce fighting around Europe's largest nuclear power plant drew fears of another disaster like Chernobyl.
There has to be a recognition that this nuclear power plant cannot be a military target.
The U.S. and its allies poured billions of dollars of weapons, ammunition, and equipment into the country, helping Ukraine launch a sweeping counteroffensive. Out of desperation, Russia doubled down, mobilizing hundreds of thousands of citizens to stop its crumbling front line. Zelensky traveled to the U.S. to rally support to win the fight.
This struggle will define in what world our children and grandchildren will live.
An ongoing struggle where both sides see victory as the only option. Ian Lee, CBS News.
The United Nations confirms more than 7,000 Ukrainian civilians have died in the conflict, but officials say the actual number is much higher. And of course, we know almost 200,000 people have died overall. There's a community in Wyoming with close ties to Ukraine. They're rallying this weekend at the Capitol in Cheyenne, calling for continued support for the embattled nation. Similar United for Ukraine rallies are happening across the country, about 65 cities and towns. At the last census in Wyoming, several hundred people reported being from Ukraine, and now refugee families are being sponsored to live and work there for a couple of years. And they're calling for all Ukrainians in Wyoming to join them, and any supporters as well.
For Ukraine, we need to send that stuff. We need the tanks, we need the ammunition, we need the gunfire, we need the drones, we need and the biggest thing that would help the most is some aircraft.
It makes me feel like I'm a part of something bigger than myself, because like the Ukrainian people have such a strong history and a strong background that they're fighting to protect right now.
I appreciate Lisa and Simeon talking to me. They're watching this conflict very closely. The rally is tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the state capitol in Cheyenne. We're waking up to dangerously cold temperatures here in Billings, and there's some wild weather in California as well. The Southern California mountains are facing a blizzard warning for the first time since 1989 in Ventura County. Evacuation warnings are in effect, with officials warning of flooding and debris flows in unstable areas. And special guest joining us this morning, meteorologist Ed McIntosh. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Yeah, the weather's really been something in California. Strong winds, and we're dealing with the cold for the most part here, but there is some relief for us as we start looking in the next couple of days. Temperatures off towards the west are a little bit warmer. You see those 40s in California, 20s even into Idaho, but across Montana, sub-zero readings across almost everywhere. Now at -30 up in Cutbank, and also at record cold levels for Miles City and down into Sheridan. Cody, you're at 19 below. That'll set a new record. And then Livingston and Billings in the teens below zero. Factor in a bit of a wind chill, and all of a sudden we're looking at some areas in the 40s below zero. Things have eased up a little bit for you in Warland, but right now a -43 wind chill value for Miles City. So we've got a lot more cold on the way. We'll break all the details down on that with the forecast coming up in a little bit.
Okay, Ed, thank you. Yep, lots to watch. We'll have more in a few. And new this morning, we're checking in with a group of Good Samaritans shoveling snow for Billings residents who might need a little bit of extra help. We first introduced you to the Snow Buddies a few months back. They're looking for volunteers. They're doing great work, but as Q2's Haley Monaco learns, there's plenty of room for more volunteers.
This is just one of the many sidewalks one Billings man has been shoveling all winter after starting his own Snow Buddies group when the city-ran program discontinued. I spoke with this man in December, and now a follow-up to see how his group is doing.
Snow Buddies has been going all right.
Justin Voller jumped into action back in December when he first heard the city's Snow Buddies program was being suspended due to a lack of volunteers.
It's our duty to help the people that can't help themselves.
So he created his own group. Brittany Nelson was one of 6 volunteers who immediately offered to help.
It just makes me feel a lot better and know that I'm taking good care of somebody, and that's one less thing that they could worry about.
Fast forward 2 months to this week's snowstorm, and Voller's program has doubled in size, but he says a dozen volunteers still isn't enough, with many elderly, disabled, and homebound residents in need of help during winter storms.
We definitely need more volunteers, though. We have addresses that don't have volunteers for them, and I try to pick up the slack when I can.
Voller and his volunteers currently clear snow for 20 houses, but could do more with more volunteers. People can reach out via their Facebook page, Billings Snow Buddies. One man still helping out those who need it most during these cold winter months.
They've provided for the community, they've lived their lives and provided for us, and now it's our turn to give back to them.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Thank you, Haley, for following that. And a Kalispell man is charged with threatening to kill Montana Senator John Tester. Kevin Smith is accused of calling Tester's Kalispell office numerous times and leaving threatening voicemails. The FBI gave Smith a warning, but court documents say he didn't stop, and he was arrested earlier this week. Smith pleaded not guilty to 2 felony counts of threatening to assault and murder a United States official. Court documents show us these voicemails were often very specific. Here's some quotes. Smith is accused of saying, "I want you to understand, if I ever pull my trigger, I know what dies." And another quote, "It's important for you to understand that I won't live under your rule. If it becomes time that I die, I'd take a significant number with me." Smith is currently in jail in Missoula, and he's on a federal hold. We'll continue following that. And happening today, the Montana House is expected to send a bill prohibiting children from attending drag shows to the state Senate. House Bill 359 passed a preliminary vote on the House floor yesterday and is scheduled for a final vote today. All but one Republican representative voted for that bill. All Democrats were against it. The legislation would prohibit a business from admitting anybody under the age of 18 while hosting drag performances and ban drag shows on public property, which could affect events like Pride. And some 1,600 Billings residents currently living in hotels may soon find themselves without a place to stay. This due to a lack of funding and misappropriated money. You see, the Montana Rental Assistance Program, or MIRA, pays for certain people to stay in hotels 3 months at a time. This program started during the pandemic and was for Montanans who exhausted all other housing options. MIRA was funded by the American Rescue Act, federal pandemic relief dollars, but it appears now the state of Montana made a key error.
And they didn't spend it fast enough initially. So the federal government took some of that funding back and told them, you need to spend the rest of this or we're going to take it back also.
To make sure the federal government didn't take any more of the money, the state began providing the funds directly to hotels willing to house people for up to 18 months without many parameters. Some hotels misused that money.
So you're talking about $6,600 for a 3-month period. And sometimes folks wouldn't stay in the motels for the 3 months. Sometimes it would be because the motel might kick them out early. Sometimes it might be that they leave. But those motels were required to give that money back to the state to be dispersed back out to others who needed it. And that did not happen.
Now these funds have been cut off and the program is set to end in late March. We'll keep checking back with that. And a Billings group is taking a unique approach to help ease the affordable housing crisis. 100 man camps from the Bakken oil fields will be moved to the subdivision in the Heights, then transformed into 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments. Developers, though, say it's too early to say how much renters will pay.
Being able to take these man camp units that might be, disposed of in some other way, and being able to recycle them where we need it so badly. It's just fantastic.
We're going to make it truly livable housing, not just affordable. It will be livable.
This project is expected to be complete in 2024. Homeless teenagers in Billings are getting fresh professional haircuts free of charge. Q2's Charlie Kleps introduces us to the hero barber, helping kids look their best.
Step inside the barber shop at Tumbleweed, and every Wednesday you'll find Kristen Rapaz busy cutting hair. She takes a lot of pride in these haircuts, and once you hear the stories of those sitting in the chair, it's easy to understand why.
Too dark, right?
After 25 years working at a Billings church, 57-year-old Kristen Rapaz decided she needed a change in 2020.
I quit a job I loved, in search of a calling. What I was hungry for was something hands-on, like hands-on, right?
That decision led her here, to the definition of something hands-on. Donating her time and cutting hair for free.
So that was always my plan, is to be a volunteer. Because there's a need and I can do something, I can't solve every problem in the world or in the community, but I can do one simple thing, and that makes a difference.
She's been doing that one simple thing for 3 years now, and the impact has been bigger than she ever could have imagined.
It's exactly what I dreamt about, but even more. There's those moments of profound sadness and struggle, that people are going through. And then there's also moments of just completely normal too, just like any other barbershop in town.
Except this isn't a normal barbershop. It's the barbershop at Tumbleweed, an organization that helps homeless teens find food, clothes, a roof over their head, and thanks to Rapaz, even a haircut.
Like she was saying earlier, how she's done it for job interviews, she's done it for one of mine as well. And me, I pride myself on my etiquette. I like having my hair cut.
19-year-old Hayden Reyes is one of Kristen's regulars.
And me and her have a very good rapport with each other. I almost kind of consider this like a therapy session most of the time.
Because I listen?
Yes.
And it's that connection to people that Rapaz says makes every cut and every trim
this is
absolutely worth it.
In the midst of whatever is going on in someone's life, they can just have a moment that's normal, right? And maybe feel a little bit better about things.
Yeah.
How's it look for you?
Looks good.
All right.
You know how I like my hair.
I do.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.